is a question: is it possible to remove anxiety completely, or is it just part of you, or part of you, or is it just part of you? Yeah, it is a part of you. You can't get rid of it.
Is that your answer, Lucas?
Yeah, you. I mean, hold on, hold on. No, I mean it is part of you.
Uh-huh.
You can't get rid of it in the sense that I mean that you cannot actually like cure yourself. No, what I try to say is
Is
you
that
can
yes, you
you
can.
no 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 you can become.
Yeah.
I'm negativist. No, you can't. You're condemned. It's just it means that you're gonna reborn in hell.
Yes, I'm gonna silence you again.
No, I mean
Why are you here?
I mean that.
If you can't give up anxiety, what is the point? Why practice?
No, you can give up anxiety, but the anxiety is a part of your mind. You
Well,
know.
yes, but
So
there's no
It's a
self.
creation.
No, yeah, it's just another. The Buddha said we're like heaps of stuff, and if you pull this out of the heap, it's gone. It's not
yeah,
part of
okay, like
itself, like part of the entity. It's
Well,
just
I do have a question here. In the ordination of bhikkhus, there is a provision that says that you cannot ordain if what you are like. I don't know the term we would use mentally ill in modern language, but there was a problem so that if you were not sane, you could not ordain. And so I guess there is a distinction between um, oh, actual organic like problems with the thought processes through like brain damage
right.
and and so on. And the idea is that someone who actually suffers from like brain damage, well, you can't expect them to change.
Well, first of all, in the Theravada tradition anyway, and I'm assuming that it holds for other traditions, insanity actually isn't one of the disqualifying factors to ordination, strangely enough, although given the fact that you need to go through a ceremony which requires you to answer these questions in the first place, like um, are you a human being? Are you a man?
Right? Are you a hermaphrodite? Exactly.
So that is not the kind of questions an insane person could probably answer, but mental problems are not. There's no mental problem that's a disqualifier to ordination. But the other thing
Well,
you
that's why I said in modern language mental illness because there was no term back then.
well, yeah,
Exactly as you.
there were many rules that where they were actually the rules were most of the rules, or maybe not all of the rules, are non-offenses for someone who is insane. Okay. So you could not only be a monk, but you could break all the rules. No, the point is that you're temporarily insane, or you went insane as a monk. If a person goes insane, they aren't held accountable for breaking the rules. They're just insane, right? So there was a concept of it.
Right.
But the other thing you could say in response to that, it's not really, um, you know, or the rules against ordination are just mainly for the purposes of um, keeping the sangha going and working. There's
My point was really coming to the
I know it
to
wasn't your
it's going back to the anxiety issue, whereas
yeah.
would it have been acknowledged that there are some people
sorry.
that cannot control themselves,
Yeah.
and the Dharma really wouldn't be effective for them.
No, it's interesting. I just finished up one of my chapters of my new book, which will come out one day. And I was just adding this part in there. I mean, from my point of view, I'll give you what sort of the lowdown of what I wrote there. We've been talking several times tonight, or at least at one point we were talking about how the body doesn't exist, and so the brain doesn't exist. These are manifestations of habits and cause and effect and so on, and are therefore completely and totally mutable. So we shouldn't distinguish categorically between what is alterable and what is unalterable, what is hardwired and what is not. We rather have to think in terms of degree. So there are certain problems which may not be solvable in this life alone. Or to put it even broader, there are certain problems that will take a long time to solve. And it may be that death occurs somewhere in here and there, start and finish. But that doesn't make them categorically different. And so even in terms of ordaining such people who have, at least depression or anxiety or suicidal tendencies, can be a very good start for them, even if they die not having come to terms with the problem, because Buddhism doesn't ascribe to the idea that death ends.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. Can I add one thing? There is no such a thing as being insane and sane. There are only things that are acceptable in society.
Oh, believe me, there are
They're
people
not unacceptable. There's no such a thing as a. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh, there are. No, I've dealt with people who are really, really crazy. They can't tell the difference between a mountain and a molehill, poison and water.
Well, how is it make you a bad person? I mean, I got anxiety and I'm insane, but I'm alright.
No. Insane is insane where they really don't have a clue what they're doing. That really happens. Happens to
I know.
meditators go insane.
I know.
There may be degrees and types of it, but it's quite different from you, Lucas.
I'm trying to add a little bit humor to it because
for instance, schizophrenia is a real medical condition.
But that's just word. That's not real. You just say
well, no. You have to. I mean, look. If you get
it's real. It's real. You can see it on brain scans,
which don't exist.
It exists conventionally.
Conventionally.
Yeah, it just doesn't exist absolutely. But that's two sides of one coin. You got a coin. Well, the face of the coin can't exist without the back side of it.
Doesn't hold conventions. Conventions don't. Ultimate reality doesn't need conventions to exist.
This is known as the two truths theory in the Dharma, where if you take the conventional view over the absolute view, that's not right view. That's not Satyadhita. And if you take the absolute view over conventional view, that's still not Satyadhiti.
Why not?
Why not? Because we're living, first of all, in a conventional world. And, all of our absolutist views are theoretical. They're how we view things with the eye of Bodhi, but not with the actual material eye. With the material eye, we see things conventionally.
Yeah.
With the eye of wisdom, we may, if we have that wisdom, see things in an enlightened way, which I really, I can only tell you conventional truths. I don't have that wisdom.
In Dhammapada, the Buddha says the world is mentally blind. How come we can say that we are so sane? How we know we are sane? Just because we say so? Just because we think we are? I mean, if you look at the people getting drunk every day, that person is clearly insane. Or you can say that.
That's just sophism. You can know that you're insane.
Some people say, "Hey, what? You don't drink? You don't go to the club today?
Right.
Oh, you must be something wrong with you."
There is this is postmodernism. That's what it is, which says that you can't really say that this is better than that, or this is right and this is wrong. There's no absolute truth, basically, but there is absolute truth. That's part of reality.
Especially most of Buddhists. I mean, non-Buddhists say about Buddhists, they are quite insane. I mean, that's what like
It's an
asceticism,
opinion, not a clinical
mild
diagnosis.
asceticism, abstention from alcohol, music. Some people consider it as insane. There's something wrong with these people. I mean, that's all. Just opinions.
No, I just mean to say I agree completely with what you're saying, that schizophrenia is, in a conventional sense, real. I was just trying to open the understanding to the point that it doesn't mean anything. It may mean that as long as this brain exists, you're not going to. I don't even think you could say not going to become enlightened. I think it's theoretically possible. I don't know. I mean, it's beyond any of our ability to say whether it's possible or not. I would to become enlightened, as a person who has schizophrenia, because it's just a condition of the physical realm. It could also be an indication that the mind is so messed up that the knots are just going to be so tied that 100 years is not enough to become enlightened. I think we're not in a position to say that, but it doesn't really matter anyway, because, well, then take 200 years or 500 years or millions.
We can't even say that because none of us reached enlightenment, so we don't know how far is it. So how far you are from being enlightened? Maybe
Well,
somebody who's.
See, I think that someone who is legitimately insane is, the type of karma that they create is not really based on like intention, whereas somebody that is really malevolent and causes harm and rapes and whatever they do, kills children and rapes them and knows what they're doing, someone that commits the 5 heinous crimes, they have, according to the Buddha Dharma, a whole different set of karma that they have to deal with. And, it's interesting as to where that distinction takes place as to why it's so heinous. Is it because it lacks sanity, or is it because it's just so cruel? Because I really believe if someone's legitimately insane, it's like being legitimately ignorant. If you have an act committed by, say, a monk that is harmful, it's a lot worse than committed by someone that's never taken a precept, for instance. So I just wanted to throw that in because I think intention has a lot to do with it.
But if you have an anxiety, can you become a monk if you have an anxiety?
Absolutely. Become a monk. I'll take the honor.
Yeah.
Can you move to the UK then?
You find me a place, I'm there. But you also have to reassure me that I can get a passport. At least a lifetime visa or something like that.